alarm, and the diving looked good, so we said, okay, let's...
Did you ask any of your friends, for example?
No, there's no one that we are near who dive like we do where we live.
Tell me more about diving here in Mas Alam.
Here at Mas Alam, we've been out this morning on the reef, and there is a really massive coral reef there with huge, great, massive walls of coral. And then on the dive that you go on, you go through some caves as you come up at the end of the dive, and it's really spectacular.
Did you see fish, dolphins, sharks? Tell me more about, because usually people speak here or talk a lot about the dolphins in the area and all of this.
So we haven't seen dolphins so far, but we've seen a really, really huge Napoleon fish, absolutely massive, one of the biggest ones I've seen. And then there are shoals of fish, shoals of yellow goatfish, huge, great shoals that go right up into the top of the sea.
Since when do you dive?
I've been diving for 30 years now, so it's been my hobby all the time. But Egypt is my favourite place to come for, certainly for winter, for the diving.
Tell me more about the places that you dive in Egypt.
So I first dived in Hurghada 30 years ago, when it was just a little fishing town, and we went out on a boat there for about 4 weeks.
Now it changed a lot.
Hurghada's changed enormously, so that's now a big town, a big city. But Mas Alam, I think it is now got the best place to dive that I have seen. It's a really, really beautiful place.
It is a relaxing place, maybe it's not that crowded?
No, it's not been at all crowded. It's very, very easy to get around and do what you want.
So this is your first time to travel with the family here, right?
So we travelled to Egypt with the family 2 years ago, first time. It's our first time in Mas Alam.
Do they all enjoy it?
Oh yes, no, it's a lovely place to come for a week just to relax, and you go into the sea and do swimming and diving.
For how long do you plan to stay?
We are here just for the week.
So how do you think about the vacation? I mean, are you going to go for a safari trip, for example? Are you looking for going outside, for example, to the desert, or you're planning to stay inside on the sea?
So at the moment, my youngest son is doing his junior diver training, so we wait to see how he gets through his training, and then maybe we can all dive together as a family. So that's what we like to do. We don't know what we do towards the end of the week yet.
So at the end, if I ask you about your impression about Egypt or about people here, what are you going to say?
They're very, very welcoming. It feels like a family here. Nothing is too much of a problem. It's lovely.
If your friends asked you about Egypt, what are you going to tell them?
Oh, I would say come here. If you want a really friendly welcome, and beautiful sea, sunshine, it's great.
It's my first time in Mas Alam, as it is with my parents, but it's the third time I've been to Egypt in total, in a row. And I've not done the diving courses so far, but I did 2 diving courses, one in Sharm el-Sheikh in the Gulf of Aqaba, and another one at Hurghada. And the first one I did in Sharm el-Sheikh was my open water divers course, so it was like an introduction to the course and all, just to get me used to the procedures and all. The second one I did in Hurghada was my advanced open water diver, so it was basically a step up from that first stage. That's pretty much.
So what about diving here? You have just came out of the water, right? Tell me more about this experience.
It's definitely better than the Hurghada and Sharm el-Sheikh, because there's a lot more coral and life and habitats and what have you, and everything's a lot more visible. And what else can I say?
Describe it for me. How was it exactly? Because maybe I want to tell people about it more. I've not been diving here before, to tell you the truth. I didn't try it here in Mas Alam, but you tell me if you're going to tell me about it.
Yeah, the coral and pretty much life in total here is a lot more abundant than it was in Hurghada. There's walls of coral 30 meters high, and they're just carpeted with life. Very, very dynamic in terms of the marine habitat out there. I'm really, really impressed by the condition that it's in right now.
If I ask you about your impression about the city, what are you going to tell me?
I can't really say much about Marseille because I've not actually been there very long.
Just the atmosphere, the weather, the lifestyle, the people. How do you evaluate all this?
It's a lot quieter than further north. I do admit that. It's very, very tranquil. And of course, a couple of decades ago, this was just a fishing town, so it's really, really exploded in terms of how many people live here now compared to several decades ago.
You said this is your third time in Egypt, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about last two visits, for example?
The first visit, the coral reef was very small, quite bleached, so dead, in other words. Not.
No, still you are talking about diving. I'm talking about your trip. Where was it and how was it?
Oh, sorry.
Now you are very much impressed, I can see, with diving.
Yeah, the trip here was not bad. 15 minutes from the airport, so a lot shorter than the other previous visits, which would have been close to an hour. And the flight in, it wasn't that bad overall.
Have you been to Sharm el-Sheikh, right?
Yep.
You liked it?
Not bad. I wasn't in there long though, so I can't really say much about it though.
Have you been to Hurghada?
Yeah, last Christmas. Quite bustling, if I might say. So very populous.
Right. So, but you at the end you prefer here this area, Marsa Alam.
Yeah, it's a lot quieter, more tranquil, very similar to where I'm from, pretty much. That's what I like about it.
So, did you get some pictures for the area?
Sorry?
Did you get some pictures for this area?
Yeah, I got a couple of pictures from this area, but they're mostly the host.
To show your friends?
Yeah.
When you told your friends, by the way, you are studying at school, or tell me more about your studying?
I'm studying right now. Well, back home, I'm studying for my A levels, so I'm very tight in with exams and such. So
when you told your colleagues you're coming to Egypt, what did they tell you?
They told me they told me they were quite astounded. So I'd say a bit jealous, but now and then because I do diving and they don't. But
so what are you going to tell them?
I'll probably tell them I had the great time and show them what I did and impress them pretty much.
Shake your body like a belly dancer. Hey ladies, drop it down. Just wanna see you touch the ground. Don't be shy, girl, go bonanza. Hey girl, shake your body like a belly dancer. Excuse me, beg your pardon, girl. Do you have any idea what you're starting, girl? You got me tingling, come to me mingling, stepping off, looking bootylicious and jingling. When you walk, I see it, baby girl. When you talk, I believe it, baby girl. I like that thick, petite, pretty, little touch of city. Love to work the kitty like. She loves to stir it up. I can hear her purring up.
As for the night, there are many things that one can enjoy.
What's the plan without the plan?
Most of the hotels arrange some interesting live shows.
Like a buddy pass.
The fire show, for example, is one of the most famous shows. It is completely different from that of Sharm el-Sheikh or Hurghada. It is even different from any show I have ever seen.
Just wanna see you touch the ground. Don't be shy, girl, go bonanza. Shake your body like a belly dancer. Girl, I must say you're the flyest thing in here. So hot, we gon' gon' need some rain in here. Type to make ex-gangsters bang in here.
We are really impressed, as I wonder how that man is capable of doing such all-fire games.
Cause I'd rather see you shaking, standing. Either way you do it, girl, you look outstanding. And now you got me spending. The way you got that body bending. And ass like that, girl, you gotta be kidding. Had me going to church next day repentant. Lap dancing for my FA crew. Slide her over the boo, cause he wants some too. Up in the VIP with no fee. Blessing you with the G, even though we getting it free. So, hey ladies, drop it down. Just wanna see you touch the ground. Don't be shy, girl.
There is also the Fakir show, another famous one. There are certain people who are capable of doing things far beyond imagination.
Your body like a belly dancer. Shake your body with somebody body. Whatever you do, don't break your body. After the party, grab a hottie in the backseat of your Maserati. Jiggle it to the left, jiggle it to the right, jiggle it to the front and jiggle it to the back and jiggle it all night. Hey ladies, drop it down. Just wanna see you touch the ground. Don't be shy, girl, go bonanza. Shake your body like a belly dancer. Hey ladies, drop it down. Just wanna see you touch the ground. Don't be shy.
Holiday makers are also invited to participate in the show, and this makes it much more interesting when you are part of such a show.
Switch off the lights and close your eyes. Feel the energy inside. Chili bow, chili bow, chili bow.